Good morning. Well, for me, it's still morning. It's 10:30 a.m. here in Montana. I'm here to do a make and take today. And this one, the theme for this make and take is Christmas. It's called No Coloring Christmas Cards. Well, for me, it's still morning. So I'm just going to wait for a sec. Oh, hello, Diana. Hello, Janet. Got a couple people popping in. I'm going to try to adjust my light a little bit more. Let's see what we get here. Maybe that helped. We'll try. Hello again. So thank you for joining me. I'm doing a make and take today. You are in the Crafty Friends group, and we're going to make 3 Christmas cards. I've titled it No Coloring Christmas Cards. Hello, Elizabeth and Margaret and Brenda. Hi, so fun to see some more friends joining us. So this class I designed so that you could make some quick cards that would be pretty easy to mail as well. So they're not, super thick, intensive cards. Oh goodness, my husband must be home. And I called it No Coloring Christmas Cards because we're literally not coloring as in with Copics or with markers. Hi Sandra, watercolors. The only coloring medium we're using is Kraftin Kimmie inks. And there are so much you can do with these fabulous inks, which is also why I wanted to feature them for you. So they work great with, when I'm talking about no coloring cards, what I'm using are solid stamps so that when you stamp them in the ink, they're solidly colored. You don't have white parts, big sections of white and just outlines that you need to color in. So each card should take us about 10 minutes. Hopefully you've got some of your pieces and parts, and if you don't, you will have the video to refer to later. I'm going to go ahead and get us started. Leave my glasses here on the side so that I can grab them when I need them. Hi, Karen. So our first card, already pulled it out here, I think. Yep. So this is our first card that we're going to make. It's a very fun, pretty card. It's pretty much all one layer. The only thing that adds any dimension to it really are some dots that I've put on there, some of our crafty dots. So the stamp sets that I'm using with this card are the Holly Jolly Ornaments and the, oh goodness, what's this called? Magic of Christmas, I think, sentiment set. So if you have one of these sentiment sets, then you are good to go. And it looks like I'm going to have to move my camera a little bit so that I get more of it on screen here. I have to be cognizant of that. All right, and then I'm also using on this card, and it might be difficult for you to see because of the white background, but this card also uses the Pattern Parade stencil. This is a fabulous stencil with all kinds of different options. Hi, Anita. So let's get going because we have 3 cards to make, and I'm excited to share them with you. I'm going to leave this one kind of off on the side. Maybe, I wonder if I'm zoomed in a little too much. Let's see. We're going to try it. I'm going to try to stay in camera here as much as I can. So you should have, for this card, you need 3 pieces really. You need a white cardstock base scored vertically. And then you need a white panel, which is, hi Peggy. Then you need a, hi Diana and Linda. Mary Pat, I hope I don't miss some of you. This panel here is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. That's the panel we're going to stamp on. And then I have, for interest, a matting layer, which is cut to be 4, oh gosh, and in between 4 and 4 1/4, and then also to go around it the other direction. My words are failing me this morning, I apologize. So, also from Ontario, huh? Awesome. I sure wish I was there this year. Okay, let's get going. I'm just going to move these pieces off to the side so that we can stamp. we're going to stamp first. And I have already, hi Lori, I've already preloaded my stamp blocks just for the sake of being able to keep going. Our ornaments are going to be graduated in length. So the first time I stamp it, I'm going to stamp it the full length of this cute little ornament line holder, I guess. I can't think of, again, my words are failing me today. You're going to have to be patient with me. These little detailed stamps, I find easier to use a small foam pad behind. So I'm going to ink this up. This is the Granite Gray Kraftin Kimmie ink. And I'm waiting for my computer to catch up to make sure I'm still in frame for you guys. Let's see, it looks like I need to move it up a little bit maybe. How's that? Is that okay, you guys? Are we in there? Okay, so I'm inking up my ornament string and top with my Granite Gray ink, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make my first line down my card. And like I said, I'm going to use the whole width of this. So I want to come in a little bit because I've got a bulb to add. And I'm just going to add my string. Okay, that's my first one. Then I'm going to do a middle one. It's called Retreat Fog. No kidding. Thank you, Carrie. Yeah, totally Retreat Fog. Thank you, Karen. All right, so the next time we stamp, we're gonna make this move up just a little bit. So I've just got a little strip of scrap copy paper so that I don't go over and stamp on something, you know, like on my mat here that I don't want to. So this time I'm gonna make it shorter, and I'm gonna move it over a little bit because I have another ornament to put in there. So I'm gonna come up a ways. Let's see here, hopefully that's going to be far enough. And if it helps you to know where you want to stamp your next line, maybe I should have told you that. You can lay your pieces down real quick so you can see where that one's going to go, so that you know how far, just kind of get an eyeball idea. Looks like I have a swinging, leaning bulb. So you have an idea of where you need your next one to be, okay? So then our third one is a little bit longer than our second one, but not as long as our first one. So I kind of see where I need to be. I'm going to go ahead and move that out of my way, and I'm going to move this up just a hair, and then I'm going to stamp that one. Okay, so now we have 3 lines, 3 hanging pieces for our bulbs. Next, we're going to add our ornaments. And I've chosen these really beautiful colors of ruby red, mermaid melody, and emerald green for our ornaments. We'll start with our red ornament, and that is the sort of, I don't know, teardrop shaped ornament, really, I guess is what I would call it. So I'm going to go ahead and ink that up. I find that with solid color stamps, for some reason, for me, I do a better job of inking them if I put the ink on the stamp versus the stamp on the ink. Then I can kind of see where I'm at and how saturated the color is. So I'm going to come, and using a clear block really helps, and I'm going to kind of, I have to lean over myself here for a second. I'm going to kind of line up my ornament with my topper, and I'm going to put that down. There we go. And if you don't like that you've missed it up just a little bit, you can take a gray pencil or marker and kind of fill that in just a little bit, extend the holder a bit. It doesn't bother me, but it might bother you, so that's an idea that you can do. Sometimes you can stamp your bulbs first, but that didn't work for me. I kept putting them in weird spots, and then I didn't like where they were, so thank you. All right, our next color is the Mermaid Melody. And I'm using the, where's my block here? I'm using the round snowflake stamp. And again, I'm gonna ink up my stamp this way, ink to stamp, so that I can see what I'm doing. Make sure I have a good even color level. Then I'm going to come in again. This is kind of hard with my phone in the way. Let's see here. I'm going to come in and I'm going to line up my stamp. There we go. See how beautifully the Kraftin Kimmie inks work with these solid stamps? Like, they're just so gorgeous. And this is a stamp set that it's been out a couple years, and I didn't buy it initially, and I've kicked myself ever since. So when I had the opportunity to do a class for the retreat, I thought, this is the one I want to do. So that's our second bulb. Our third one is going to be in the emerald green. Yep, I'm going to make sure I got the right color here. Oops, turn her over. So see what I mean? Like, I did the stamp to the pad, and if I wasn't paying attention, I'd have kind of a funky area there. So I'm gonna fill that in, and this one is a little lighter on one end. That's kind of the way it's designed. Looks like I have some sort of a blob or boo-boo in the middle of that, but okay, let's just ink it up. So we've got our third bulb inked up. We're gonna line this baby up with our holder here, and see, I got a little bit close to my other ornament, but that's going to be okay. I don't think I'm going to be touching it too much. Aha, there we go. Okay, so now we have our three pretty ornaments, and we're going to work on our sentiment. For the sentiment, like I said, I'm using the Magic of Christmas. I love this set so much. It's like my go-to set. I am inking up the Season's Greetings. And I'm going to put it kind of down in the bottom corner, kind of offset from my ornaments. My Wicked Black ink pad is a little less juicy because it's been getting a workout this retreat, with all the cards that I made ahead of time, and then our make and takes and stuff. So Season's Greetings, and I'm going to come up just a little because I know that I want to leave room for some lines, and I'm just going to kind of look to see if I'm, you know, close to level, hoping that I am. I don't usually stamp standing up with a Acron thing in front of me. I originally got this stamp set because I like the sentiments for tags. Yes, absolutely. This ornament stamp set is so awesome for that. And the sentiments are pretty. I love the scrolly words and everything. All right, so now we have our ornaments, we have our sentiment. We're going to work on the little details at the bottom. And for that, again, I'm using the Pattern Parade, and I'm going to quickly switch this out and put my Make Art Station on here, because this thing is so awesome for holding down stencils. And I'm just going to get my card out of the way here for a sec so that we can see what we're doing. And I may need to readjust a little bit. So I'm going to wait and make sure we're in frame again. Move it up. Shoot, I don't know what I got on there. Looks like I blobbed a little bit. Okay, so are we good in the frame here? I want to make sure I've got where you can see the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to hold this baby down, and then I'm going to take, actually I'm going to use this. I am going to, let's see, are we in frame? Are we okay, you guys? Yep, okay, I see it. All right, so we're going to make our first set of lines. And I'm just gonna kind of eyeball where I want it to be. I'm gonna let it hang over just a tiny bit because it's easier to attach the stencil. And I'm gonna line it up so my card is not straight on my base. So I'm just kind of looking to see, making sure I'm pretty close here. That looks fairly close. It might be going uphill a tad. We'll see what happens here. I think we're okay. Okay, so I'm going to hold it down with my magnets. I'm going to put one over here, and then I'm also going to add a tiny bit of tape right there because I don't want to move the magnet and then shift it around. Yeah, this Make Art Station is awesome. Okay, so I'm going to use a little sponged finger dauber, If you have those little tiny skinny daubers, those are amazing as well. I'm gonna grab real fast. There's enough spacing in between these elements that you can use a dauber pretty easy, but just because I don't want to mess it up while we're doing class, I'm going to go ahead and just put this little piece of scrap paper down. So yeah, you're breaking in your make art station. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just do our first row of dots, and I probably want to stop just outside of the S. So I can use kind of my finger as a guide, or I can, if I want to be fussy, and I'm just showing you guys how you can, you know, do things. I'm going to just put a sticky note down so that I don't go way past or into a line that I don't want. So I'm just going to stick that down real quick. So I'm kind of masking off. Don't really necessarily need to when you're using a sponge dauber, a little dauber. And then we're just going to come in and we're going to add our dots. And this way too, I don't have to be careful while I'm trying to talk to you, because sometimes it's hard to talk and focus at the same time for me, especially with retreat fog. Okay, so there's our first line. Then we're going to shift it down just a hair and do a second line. If I can get my tape up. There we go. All right, so shifting down just a hair, show you what your first line looks like. Then we're going to come down, and this time we're going to go out further than we were before. So I'm just kind of trying to line it up again as best I can. It's really helpful when you have like a piece of grid paper underneath your stencil too, or I'm sorry, underneath what you're trying to line up in cases like this, because then you can kind of follow a line this way if your paper's not down completely straight. And let's see, because I'm going this direction, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mask this off a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and use a piece of tape this time. I want to come out a little further than I did before. So let's see here, we'll go, there we go. And I'm just going to put it down. Again, we're ready to rock and roll. Let me put it over here. Okay, so one more time. We're going to put our dots in again. And this time, like I said, I'm coming further out, so my tape is helping me kind of know where I want to come. But again, you can eyeball it, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Maybe you get a half a dot and you're fine with that. That'd be fine too. So let's see here. Whoops. Okay, that should do it. We'll lift this up and reveal the magic that we've done here. This is my favorite part. Oh, look at that. My lines are going up a little bit, but I'm okay with it. I'm going up a lot actually, but that's all right. You know, if I want to be silly and fake the person's eye out, I could take my mat behind it and I could offset it a little bit so it doesn't seem like it's going crooked. So there's an idea too, right? I could trim it down a little bit. I could rotate it. And then here's my base. So we're going to want to glue it down. I don't really necessarily love it like that, but what I could do is put it on here like this. Or I could just be okay with the fact that it's a little bit crooked because it's handmade too, right? But here you go. See, so I just tip it just ever so slightly. It's going to hang off a tiny bit, but that's okay. And then it doesn't look like it's crooked. And that makes me feel a little better. So so you're going to glue that down. And I don't know how many of you are actually, a rising line is a sign of an optimist. Then there it is. That's why I did it that way, Mary Pat. I'll glue it down because I am hoping that maybe some of you are able to be making this card with me at the same time. So I'm just going to put it first on my colored cardstock base. And as a last step, I am going to add some of our fabulous crafty dots. So there's that. I'm not going to worry about it going up. I was telling you in case it bothers you a little bit. It bothers me a little bit. I'm going to be okay with it. Okay, so let's get this on there. Just kind of eyeballing to try to get it level. Glue, liquid glue is awesome for helping you be a little forgiving. I'm grabbing these gorgeous, I think these are the neon dot lines from Kraftin Kimmie. I better move this up a little so you can see it. And I'm just gonna add a series of 3 dots. So these neon dots match pretty well with the green, as you can see, and they match great with the blue. So I think I will do blue. Well, I got blue down here, so I'm gonna do green. So I'm gonna add one of the medium colored dots here, and I'm just gonna create kind of a line of 3, if you will. My ornaments are going this way, I'm gonna do the same thing. Then I'm gonna add a little one, and then I'm gonna add one more of the sort of medium size, and I'm gonna put it down here. And there's card 1. How cool is that? Like, ta-da, we got it, right? All right, moving on. I'm gonna grab my stuff for my next card. For the next card, you need the, we're gonna use the, I'm trying to decide which one I wanna do next. We're gonna use this, what the heck is it called? The Snowflake Kisses stamp set. And the inks that we're gonna use are Purple Pansy. Let me set this card, let me move my Make Art station here real quick. Beautiful, thank you. All right, so here is our next card. This is the Snowflake Kisses stamp set. It's entirely the Snowflake Kisses. I'm so sorry, my arm's in the way. Entirely the Snowflake Kisses stamp set. So the sentiment and everything comes from this set. This is the stamp set, just so that you can see it. This is one that I knew instantly I wanted because you can make tags, you can make backgrounds. I mean, there's just so many awesome things you can do with this stamp set. I love the Snowflake stamp set. So this again is a very quick, easy card. I want to show you quickly an option. So if you are not comfortable with, you know, if you would like to add some dimension, let's put it that way. One option that you could do that I just want to show you really quickly is you could stamp your sentiment. Am I offline? There we go. You could stamp your sentiment on a little piece of paper and mat it, and you could kind of put it, after you stamp your snowflakes, you could put it on your card that way. So that's an idea as well. I love non-traditional winter and Christmas colors, so if you don't like those, that's okay, and you want to use a different color, I'm just showing you ideas. So, oh, sorry, Sandra, I'm sorry your internet's being stupid. All right, so let's get going on that one. I need to grab my purple and my pretty in pink. So my purple pansy, my pretty in pink are the 2 colors I'm using for this set. And I need some more blocks, so I'm quickly getting some blocks for my snowflakes. For this card, what you need is a white cardstock base, and I'm opening it horizontally, right? So that we have it this way, not this way. But you could do it that way too. I'm just making kind of a pattern that flows across the card. So I have that, then my top panel, and I have inky fingers apparently because I keep touching my white, yep, and getting dots on there. I may have to add a couple crafty dots. So our panel again is 4 by 5 1/4, and then our matting layer is just a little bit bigger than that. So no stenciling on this one. We're just stamping. I'm going to leave this up here where I can kind of see it and you can see it. We're going to start by putting our sentiment down. So I'm going to stamp that first. I got to get it out of here. There's lots of great ones. So you could, if you're using this set, you might want to do We Are All Like Snowflakes, Different in Our Own Way. You might want to do Sending You Snow Much Love. You Mean Snow Much to Me. I'm using The Most Wonderful Time of the Year. So let me get that on a block here quickly. Let's see, my block is not quite as long as my sentiment, so I'm going to do it sideways a little bit, but we'll get it. Then I'm going to grab my Wicked Black ink, which I put somewhere. Where the heck did I put it? Oh, here we go. Okay, so my Wicked Black ink is what I'm going to grab. I got to clean my fingers off a little bit. Alrighty. And hopefully we're in frame still, right? We're good? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and ink up my sentiment. Thank you, Shahada. Thank you, everybody. I'm glad you like the colors. It's fun. Okay, so I've inked up my sentiment, and I'm just going to kind of put it in the middle here. Oh, and I should have used my little pad, but hopefully it'll be okay. I tend to rock the finer stamps a little bit. Oh, I didn't do too bad. Okay. So there's our sentiment. Now we're going to just start stamping some snowflakes. And what I did for the snowflakes is I started with the pink, and you're just going to kind of alternate. But I wanted to start with the pink so that I had the bulk of the pink and the biggest one in the middle so that the sentiment still pops. And again, if you get a little heavy-handed with the purple and your sentiment starts to disappear, then cut out a strip of it and put it on top of it, and that works great too. So let's see, I'm going to grab some snowflakes here. I'm going to start with a bigger, one of the larger ones in the pack. I'm going to use that in the middle. And then, let's see, my two other larger ones I've preloaded. And then we'll start working with the smaller ones after that. So I'm going to grab my Pretty in Pink. And I'm going to ink it up. And, you know, if you don't want it super dark, then just kind of be softer with it. But so I've got that one ready. I'm going to plunk that one right in the middle. Plunk is a technical term in case you didn't know. Thanks, Mary Pat. Alrighty, so there's our first one. Ooh, that's so pretty. Big one in the middle. Then we're going to start adding some of the other ones. So let me grab some small ones. I'm going to do my purple next so that I kind of know where I want this. I wanted this to be kind of my baseline around my sentiment. So I'm going to grab the ones that I have loaded up for the purple, and I'm going to ink this guy up first. This is Purple Pansy again. I'm going to kind of come off the page on this one a little bit. And then I want another one of these. How am I using a card base on matting? And B is watching too. Hi, B. How am I using a card base on matting? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Diana. I'm sorry. Can you say it a little differently maybe so I can understand it? Okay, so there's another purple one. That's one of the bigger ones. I would like to use a different one now, so I'm going to grab this guy. Oops. Thank you, Margaret. And I'm going to add this one kind of up in the corner. And I'm going to put another one kind of down here a little bit, kind of stagger it. Okay, then I would like to start filling in. Let's do a few more of the purple smaller ones. And the reason I do the purple first is because then when I'm doing the pink, it's a little bit lighter. And if I stamp over the top of a purple one, then I still see it mostly, whereas if I do it the other way, then I lose some of it. So it kind of looks like the pink is layered on top of the purple a little bit. So I'm just going to grab a few of the little stamps. Where the heck is it? Let's see here. Here's one. This is a fun one. I like this one. I'm going to add, I'm just going to leave that off of there so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to add, this is kind of the next size, if you will, and I'm going to kind of add some more of that in there. Does the white base open up and you write inside, or is it just plain flat postcard? Oh, it is a base and it opens up. Yes, thank you, Diana. Yeah, so it just is, here's my card. So I've got the matting on there, but it's still just a card base. It just is opening this way instead of opening this way. Make sense? Thank you for explaining that. Okay, so let's see, I've added that one. Oops. I want to add another one of that. Maybe, I don't know, like over here somewhere. Okay, and this is fun. Like, I have decision anxiety kind of on this stamp set because I want to use every single one of the snowflakes. So I'm going to grab I'm going to grab two more of the purple, and then I'm going to start working on the pink. So I'm going to grab this guy and this little tiny guy here. So he's ready. Okay, then I've got this one, which is kind of fun. And again, it's just kind of flowing, right? We're not being super careful about it. We just want it to kind of flow. Okay, so then I'm gonna do, I kind of covered my sentiment a little bit. We're okay. I can cover that up with a dark marker. So then we're going to do a couple little guys. And I'm just gonna randomly, this one I'm pouncing on the pad. Okay, coming off the page a little bit, down. So I'm just randomly filling in some places with this little guy. Hi, love.
Hi, Mom. Make me a special card.
All right, I'll make you a special card. Okay, and then, let's see, so maybe one more, and I don't know, maybe another one over here. Okay, so now we're gonna switch gears and we're gonna do some pink. We're just gonna start filling in some pink snowflakes. And like I said, I love them all, so I'm just gonna grab some of the ones that are remaining in the stamp set that I haven't used yet and fill those in. This little guy is really cute. And this one's kind of bigger. Okay, so now we're gonna start filling in. Ooh, whoops, I did the purple. I gotta clean it real quick. Oh, hang on, sorry. Technical difficulties here. Okay, pink, I want pink. I better close my purple so I don't do that again. All right, pink it is, pink, pink, here we go. Okay, so this guy, we're just gonna start filling in, like I said. I don't really have a absolute pattern of any sort. I just kind of want to get some in there. Maybe I'll just, there we go, about right there. Okay, there's that guy. Then I've grabbed another one here. This is another kind of medium-sized one, if you will. And then I'm gonna grab a small one. And I'm gonna start filling in with that one. And I'm just gonna put lots of this little small one in there. I want lots of smalls. And then as I'm kind of doing it, I can see there's a couple spots where I would probably really like to put something else. So maybe I'll grab another purple. in a couple of places. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to go back and find one of my little purple guys. And I'm going to put some more purple in there. And this time I want my purple. Okay. Okay, so I want one there. I want one there. And I want one there. Okay, I think I'm going to leave it alone. So I have a flow of snowflakes across my card. I have my sentiment. And I'm going to add some of these. They're called heavenly dots. I'm not sure if Kimmie still has these in stock or not, but these are like my favorite dots. They have the glittery pieces in there. This beautiful kind of teal glitter, this purple glitter, this clear glittery piece. So I'm just going to throw a few of those on my card real quick, just for a little extra pop, if you will, in the purple. Kind of like, I'm going to put it there. Ah. One there, and I'm going to put one I think right about there. It's a bigger one. Let's go here. We'll put one down there. And then I'm going to add maybe just a couple of small, tiny, clear ones. My fingernails don't want to pick them up. I ordered some of those fantastic tweezers. I hope I got my name in time at the Shop the Box last night. All right, so there we go. We just sort of have a flow of dots. We have a flow of stamps. We're going to put it on our pink card base, and which I've set over here. So first we'll get it on our pink matting layer. Move that off to the side for a second here. You could use sequins. You could fill in with stickles where you want to have some sparkle. There's that. Then we've got our base, and I want to pay attention that I'm gluing it on correctly so that I don't have an upside down card. I've done that many times. And then I've had to make it into a postcard, Diana, when I've done that. Alrighty, so we're going to glue that on there. Oops. So we're just going to have a little bit of a white edge. And there we go. And then we could use, a couple of the snowflakes on the inside, finish out a couple of snowflakes on the inside and another sentiment. That'd be super cute, right? Hi, Pam. You like the colors? Great. So here's our two cards. So you can see, kind of like snowflakes, no two cards are the same. So I've got kind of the flow. I've got the sentiment, and again, the idea for those of you who may be just joining, if you wanted to mat your sentiment, you could put a couple snowflakes on there, and you could kind of put that on your card as well. So lots of ideas. Again, very quick card, beautiful card, easy to mail. We're going to work on the third one. So for your third card, you need a 5x5 a 5.5 by 5.5 white cardstock base. And then you also need a panel that is 5 inches by 5 inches square. I'm going to leave this in here so you can see it a little better. I've chosen a green matting piece because I'm using green ink. I'm going to use the Goblin green ink. So thank you, Tracy. So I use that, but if you're using a different color ink, you can kind of decide how you want to mat it. Then you should have a strip for the sentiment, and this piece I believe is like it's 3 inches one way. So it's almost 3 inches. Mine is almost 3 inches, but I think I told you 3 inches because you can trim it down. 3 inches by 2 inches is what my little piece is. And then I've cut a matting piece to go behind that. So this is, and we're going to stencil on this card, and we're going to use the Perfect Plaid stencil. So first I'll show you my card that I made, and then I will show you, I got to get a couple stamps out of the way here really quick though. So grab your Perfect Plaid stencil or another like burlap or holly or any of the, really any pattern will work. You can make it Christmassy through your colors that you choose. So I'm going to grab that really quick, and I'll show you my card here. This is the card I made as a sample. So I used the Solid Holiday stamp set, and I used Christmas Cheer sentiments. Both of these are my favorites. The Solid Holiday I just got in the mail from Kimmie. I have wanted that stamp set forever. I'm going to leave that there for you, sorry. But I want to show you the stamp set. So this is the Christmas Cheer sentiments, and this is the Solid Holiday. So fun. There are tons of great examples that RDT have done with this stamp set. So this is our sample. And I'm going to grab my Make Art station. I'm going to move this over for a bit so that I can get things together. You need just your white 5x5 panel. Just that for now. Grab my Make Art station again. Put this down. And so I asked you to also have a strip of just copy paper or something that you can use as a matting strip. So that's, or sorry, as a masking strip. So that's how I did this. I have a strip that I put kind of right in the middle of the card, taped it down so that when I'm stenciling across it and I lift it up, I have that nice dividing line. So that's how, I forget that I'm zoomed in, I apologize. So that's how I created that. So I already have a very messy one put together. I am going to use my grids on my Make Art station a little bit so I can see what I'm doing here. Try to get it level-ish. And if you don't want your paper to move, something you can do is put like a little dot of temporary tape on the back of there so that it stays steady. And then I'm going to kind of look, and then I may use my ruler just to double check, but I'm just kind of eyeballing about halfway into my card, because this is 5x5, so I would want to lay my panel down. Whoops, helps if I turned around the other way. So I've got 1.5 inches on this side, and oh my gosh, look how good I did. Almost 1.5 inches on this side. I'm a hair off, but I'm okay with that. So that's a way that you can kind of get it down too. So you want that on there. Whoops. For my card sample, I used a Pretty in Pink, but I'm going to use the Berry Bliss on this card. If you have any pink, any red, any green, you could do green and, you know, beautiful different colored trees. You could be very non-traditional. But I'm using the Berry Bliss because that is the ink of the month right now, and it's on sale in the shop. And it is a gorgeous, gorgeous color. It's one of my very favorites. So let's see, and I gotta find my stamp set. Where did I put it? Because I'm gonna need that in a second here. Okay, I'm gonna quickly preload my little Christmas trees on my blocks to give you a chance to kind of get your page set up. And you may already be ahead of me and you're there, so that would be awesome. All right, there we go. What size is the mask? The mask is 2 inches wide by like 5 1/4. It just hangs over, maybe 5 1/2, so that it hangs over the edge of the cardstock. Let me move the stencil so you can see it here. So it is 2 inches wide by, what I've got here is 5 1/4, just so that it hangs over the edge so I don't get any funky color on the edge that I don't want. And then I have sort of put it kind of in the middle, and if it helps you to kind of use a ruler first to kind of know where you want to be, do that, but I've kind of got it in the middle. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put my mask down. Let's see, and I want it to be, like, I want the color to come all the way to the edge on both ends. So I am just sort of lining it up so that I have that up here on the top. The stencil comes over the edge just a little. And then of course down here, so that when I pull it up, I've got color all the way through the edge for the most part. So that's where I'm going to put that. I'm going to grab a couple more pieces of tape. Blue tape to help me keep it down so that I can put that on the edge. I can use my magnets in the middle since I'm not inking anything in the middle. And then I can put a magnet down here. I can tape up here. I want it to be pretty snug. Let's see. And it looks like for the most part you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to scoot it over maybe just a little bit. Does that help? Is that better? Or worse? Hopefully it's better. And then I'm going to grab my sponge dauber and my Berry Bliss ink. And I'm going to start stenciling. Everybody with me so far? Okay. Awesome. So here we go. We're going to ink up. Ooh, look how pretty that is. I love this color. Love, love, love this color. And if you wanted your plaid to be more subtle, use a brush, use a light touch. I have a very difficult time, I've disclosed this in a couple of my classes, of feeling like I need to like really ink deeply through all of my stencils. So that kind of seems to be my style, if you will. If you want more of an ombre effect, you know, do lighter to dark as you're sponging, brushing. I want to make sure I get a good crisp line, so I'm kind of, you know, holding it down a little. Move my magnet for a sec here. All right, let's see here. So I'm just kind of going over it again, making sure I've got the places that I want filled in. If you don't have these are awesome. They're the rounded foam tops for the ink applicators. I love them. They're so cool. All right, so that's the Berry Bliss. Let's open it up and reveal the magic. This is what I always call it. This is how I feel about stenciling. To me, it's like magic. Inky fingers. So that's that. Typically, I would clean my stencil pretty quick, but I'm not going to take the time to do that at the moment. All right. So let me get this out of the way. Look at how beautiful that is. Isn't that pretty? I love that color. All right. So then what we can do is stamp our trees. And in my example, what I did was I did 4 trees so that my sentiment could be there. Now, if you wanted, and I'm checking my fingers here, if you wanted to stamp a row of trees all the way across here and use like a longer sentiment, like in black or something across the base of the trees, you could do that. If you don't like 4 trees, you like things in 3s, then do 2 on one side and 1 on the other, and then put your sentiment in a little bit more. So we can do that. I'm just going to follow my pattern because then I can keep on task and show you guys what I did, right? There we go. Are we all the way in the frame here? I think we're good. All right, so like I said, I have pre-done my stamps on my blocks, but let's pick, you want to maybe pick a sentiment so that you know kind of how far apart your trees need to be. So in my case, I've got this. I know that this is my piece that I want to work with. And I know that I want it kind of above and in the middle of my card. Actually, I'm going to need to trim this down. I can see that now. But I picked for the other card I did, Wishing You a Joyous Season. So I kept it, bigger so that you could then cut it down. If you want a thinner sentiment, which would be really pretty with the trees, you could do this Holly Jolly Holidays, and it wouldn't be as thick on your card. So, or you could do, any of your sentiments, really. I'm going to go ahead this time and use the Holly Jolly Holidays. And I'm going to do it in black, just so it stands out a bit more, because we already have the red, we have the green, so I'm going to go ahead and do it in black. I need to find a stamp block here. My poor little stamp blocks are getting a workout. And I'm doing this just so that I kind of know where I want to put everything else. So I'm just going to grab my piece of paper, my sentiment strip, and this time I'm going to remember to do this so I don't rock it. This is just my little foam pad. And my black ink. You could, if you wanted a two-tone sentiment, you could tape off, if you're using a stamp platform, tape off your little holly leaves, do it in your black, and then tape the rest off and do it in your green. That'd be cute too. So I'm going to keep this. I'm going to kind of put it down more towards the bottom so I can trim it down. Okay, there's that. I can see I rocked it a little bit. So quickly offline, I'm going to trim that down a little bit, because y'all know how to cut paper, so I'm going to just disappear for just a second and go trim that down real quick. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for the delay. So I've decided to trim that down. I would like to give it a little bit more interest, so I'm going to go ahead and quickly ink the edges of this with my Berry Bliss ink. And I'm just going to slide it across my ink pad really quick. I'm not really distressing it, I'm just giving it a little extra oomph, if you will, so that it kind of ties it in a little bit. Okay, set that aside for a sec. And find my Goblin Green ink. The emerald green would be pretty with this Berry Bliss too, so any green really would be pretty with the Berry Bliss, which is why I chose it. Alrighty, so let's get our trees in there. I'm going to see where I want this kind of. I'm going to start with my tallest tree, and it's probably the tallest and a little bit the widest in the, I'm going to keep this over here maybe. I don't know where to put it so you can see it if you need to refer to it. There we go. I'm going to start with my tallest tree in the set. It's about 2 inches tall. So this is the width of what we've masked off, is 2 inches. I'm going to start with this. And I'm going to put it down first. There we go, pretty, pretty. Then I'm going to use a little shorty guy. And I'm just going to kind of eyeball where I want to add that one. There's that one. And let's see, maybe this time I just want to do 3 so that my sentiment is like right about here, and I can put another tree over here. So that's what I'm going to do this time. So let's see, do I want to do this one or do I want to do a tall skinny one? Another fun one in the set that I didn't pull out, but I'm going to go ahead and grab that one since it's fun, is this tree. This is a different one. We're going to try this one. This one makes me think of like a Whoville tree. I don't know why. From the Grinch. Okay. And I'm going to put this one over here. Ooh, that's fun. Looks like I have a little bubble in there, but that's okay. So then what I could also do is I can pop my sentiment up. I can drop it down a little bit. I can pop it up. I can move it. I don't like it down there though. So let's see, maybe I'll just put a quick strip of foam tape behind it. And if I have some here, just for the sake of seeing what it looks like, I'm going to try that. But before I do that, I need to glue this down, or you could pop this part up just a little bit with dots instead of the whole sentiment and glue that down, which is also kind of pretty. Maybe we'll do that. I'm going to do that. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here, but I'm just adding, this is the very last strip of my foam tape. I love this stuff. All right, so I'm going to peel that up. It kind of varied a little bit from the plan today, but I had so many ideas in my head, I was like, oh, I got to show these people these ideas. Okay, so I've popped that up just a little bit, and now I'm going to lay it down on the card. I'm going to glue it down, and then I'm going to add a couple of dots. Well, actually, I'm going to glue it to my matting layer first. So I'm kind of looking where I want this to be. I want it to be above there a little bit, just sticking up a bit. I'm kind of wishing I had done the sentiment in Berry Bliss. I think that would be real pretty, actually. All right, so now I'm going to grab my mat, and I'm going to put this panel on my matted layer. You could take like a puff paint, draw some snow in there. That'd be super pretty. You could use some of the snowflakes from the snowflake set that we just used and add a couple here or there. That would be super cool as well. With the square-shaped cards, you can have them open this way or this way, whatever you love the best. I'm going to have mine open the traditional right to the left, I guess, is what I want to say. So I'm going to glue that on there. Looking good so far, I think, right? I hope you're able to do that with me. And so then I'm going to go and I'm going to find some of my dots that I used on the other card just a bit ago. And maybe I want to add, I'm just going to stick with the green since I didn't grab a color family that has others in it. And I'm just going to add a couple of dots on here. Where though is the trick, right? Where do I want to add dots? Maybe there. And there. And let's see, maybe, I don't know, now I'm not sure where I want to put the third one. How about down here? How about right there? There. Okay, and then like I said, you could use some snowflakes, you could do some snow, so you could move your trees up a little bit more and you could add some snow, or you could still add snow along the line. So, oh, I'm seeing hearts. Thank you. I'm so glad. I'm so glad to see those hearts. So, as I said, here was my first one. Here's my second. So you can see how versatile the solid stamp sets are, as well as the stencils. I mean, I just absolutely love these stencils. So quick and easy. We made 3 cards in an hour. Generally, you can make them a little quicker. I was kind of poking along here, but they're generally about 10-minute cards, really, if you know what you want to do with it. So thank you so much for joining me today. I will post pictures of this. The video will be saved for people who can watch it later, so that maybe if I've inspired you with something today, you can go back and watch the video and kind of tweak it to make it your own. So thanks again so very much. I'm hoping that you're enjoying the retreat, and I shall catch you a little bit later. Thank you, Diana. Diane, I guess. Thanks, Janet. Thanks, Margaret. Bye, Bea. Thank you.